Lockdown Protocol, first person social deduction. It is a 3 to 8 player Among Us, but first person.
Among Us.
You have to complete tasks. The difference here is that nearly every task requires you to work in tandem with the other players. You're not just running off and doing things on your own. And so there is a more emphasized element on interacting with people constantly. And that can make it challenging. I would argue makes it more challenging for anyone who is trying to subterfuge.
It is the murder each other one?
You do murder each other. You do try to ruin the process of completing tasks. I would argue that it makes it harder to do that. However, the first-person perspective of this game gives people way less context of the space that they're in, and so it inevitably makes for a more frantic, confusing experience because you don't have that bird's eye view of watching where people are moving in and out of rooms. You have to be physically looking at them in order to see what's going on. The setting is I don't think this is early access, but it is. Maybe it is. I can't remember what it said when I bought it, but there's just one map that I've played so far, and the rooms are there's a beautiful design to it. All the rooms are kind of like color coded, and there's different tasks associated with each room. It's basically like a science lab, but there's an engineering unit, there's storage, there's a research facility on plants, but then there's a restaurant because people live here and work here, and there's a med bay because people are going to get sick here.
There's a big tree.
There's a giant tree. There's a beautiful courtyard. There's just like a nice
Overwatch Blizzardy vibes almost.
Totally,
a little bit.
Yeah, it is definitely the most beautiful social deduction game I've played. If you discard Dread Hunger, because that is beautiful in its starkness and its bleakness. But Dread Hunger is still my favorite social deduction game I've played for sure. But this is really interesting and fun. And what this game has that throws at you straight away is guns, which are quite an aggressive, powerful thing to have. And they're often in the hands of the goodies, but sometimes they're in the hands of the baddies. And the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And so they're around and people are not afraid to use them. But here's an example of a task that requires multiple people. It can technically be done solo, but it's trial and error versus actual deduction. So these canisters have been put on a pressure gauge. The person over there is operating the pressure, and I will let them know if there's anything about to explode. Obviously, if they wanted me to die because they were trying to disrupt the gameplay, they could push it really far and make it explode, and I would die. But now we've seen that I need to stop because I need to fix that. So this is the kind of task that you're doing. They're all hands-on. They're all a bit finicky. And they're all
asymmetrical, I guess, or kind of like
and there's often you need to refer to a couple of things simultaneously in order to make it work, which is why you need to be working with people. It is. There's really not.
I was going to say, could you explain the actual subterfuge? Like, if you have a gun, is it one person is singled out?
We were playing with 8 people, and 2 of us were bad.
Baddies.
So a quarter of the team were bad. This was our first session in it, so I just got exploded. When you die, you become a little ghost, and you can float around and watch like a lot of these games. You can just there's my corpse.
So, and from that, is there the report in vote system as well, or how
there isn't any of that? There's none of the pause. There's just a hey, I just witnessed this person murder.
Can
that
other
person.
players see you when you're a ghost?
No. The other ghosts can see each other,
Yeah.
and the other ghosts can communicate via proxy chat. But otherwise, it's a proxy chat. People running around. that was Reese who just realized he murdered 2 people.
You can even see in those eyes the kind of shock and dread. So then the
you
way
can see the tasks on the
there.
left there: vents, pressure analysis. We were trying to balance it because we're all learning how to do the tasks. So obviously, they take a bit longer to complete. When you're trying to learn how to do them, we were kind of bringing the minutes available down as we got more comfortable with the tasks. And then you try to find the right balance for then the people who are in this game. They're called what are they called? the people who are trying to deceive and cause the subterfuge. I can't remember what they're called.
Trainer. Oh no.
They're not called traders in this. I can't remember. But it becomes harder for them, obviously, when people grow to understand all the tasks better.
Yeah.
So it's about getting that timing right, and it's where decisions come into play. Like, when is the trader going to go nuts with a gun? Dissident, thank you so much.
Apparently they're called Peyton.
They're called Peyton was consistently bad, and so was Ren. Ren was bad most of the time, but usually with me.
But sorry, just to go
characters are
back
so
to the win
cute.
state and the fail state. So obviously, if you're not a baddie, I'm just going to say goodies and baddies.
Yep.
You're just trying to get all the tasks done.
Correct.
But also, if you suspect someone, the only thing you can do is go and grab a gun and kill them.
No, you can like stab each other to death with a screwdriver.
Totally,
or
but there's no,
blunt
like-
force trauma each other.
There's no,
go
as I
for the
said, no
taint.
voting out.
There's no
It's
voting
just-
out.
But
There's no
you might need to
objective
convince
space.
other people and be like, I'm going to kill
Absolutely,
them now.
absolutely.
And that's okay.
There was a moment last night where one of the dissidents found a block of C4 and had the detonator as well, and we were all in this room that you're looking at here because it was the last task, and it was like everyone stick together because we have to win this. And then the block of C4 landed in, and everyone got blown.
Wow. Well, was it quite balanced, like in terms of win rate between?
Yeah, I would say so. But again, when it wasn't, we would feel it between rounds and go like, oh, we got to tweak this for this reason. And it has all
Yeah.
of those things built into it, like they all have to these days while you're learning it. And yeah, you're trying to strike the balance as you go. And that's the fun part of it for sure.
I
Wait.
love that group death thing happened because I played Goose Goose Duck or whatever on stream, and we just made, which is Among Us basically. We just did the conga line. It's like everyone stay together, conga line. Everyone runs around. But again, we're like in this case, you're a giant target then for the dissidents.
You guys have both played social deduction games with the community. It means I got to play one.
Yeah,
should.
it's good fun.
Oh, there's a new Death Note one
Mm.
where you have to figure out who's Kira. I'll play that one.
Definitely
Okay.
was my first anime.
Next community game night. I'm playing the Death Note game.
Overall, yeah, overall,
Overall, really solid. Definitely keen to play some more. Like all of these games, the joy is the company and playing with people. And
proxy chat. You make things so fun.
I know
It's
it really is delightful. Josh has a bit of a clip from
Ooh.
a moment that we all shared between every round. This was our.
That's so cute.
You're like a choir master?
Thank you.
What are you all doing?
That was us singing the Dune.
I was about to say
Oh,
it's the
right.
So we did a Dune song, and then you can jump yourself to death when you run out of energy. That's a fun little mechanic in that one. Is that like if you're trying to run away from the bad guys,
And you
if you
just-
run too much, you lose all your health and you drop dead.
Jesus.
And so do the bad guys though.
Yeah.
So there's a balance of like running around corridors.
That looks really fun.
Yeah, it's cute. It's
Yeah.
it's a really
pretty.
nicely presented social deduction game, which
Yeah.
not a lot of them. I mean, they all kind of have been, right?
They
Among
all-
Us has what is like it's a cute looking game.
I love the
but,
idea of the
yeah,
first
really
person
like this.
perspective because even just that one challenge you showed us that they can make it interesting by just pure line of sight. Like I have to go over here and I can't see it.
100%.
Just talk to me and tell me what you're looking at. Versus the top down thing has never really appealed to me with Among Us and even the other ones I played. They all just feel a bit too chaotic and it's like, yeah, that is just literally I saw it with my own eyes and that person is a murderer.
Yeah, and it's less foreboding than Dread Hunger, so it always feels fun as opposed to like stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah,